Welcome to the Firebelly Social Show. We're focused on talking to food and beverage brands that are on a mission to make the world better.
Hey, everyone. Duncan here with another episode of the Firebelly Social Show, where I chat with founders and leaders of mission-driven food and beverage brands. And today we're digging into the world of high-performance snacking and also founder resilience with my man, Mark Samuel. He's the founder of Mark Snacks, the new seed oil-free, non-GMO kettle chip brand, which I have had the opportunity to taste and loved it. But before we jump in, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Firebelly Marketing. At Firebelly, we help mission-based food and beverage brands build engaged communities and help them to build their sales performance all through authentic social media marketing. So if you're ready to use social media marketing to create more community and excitement, head over to firebellymarketing.com to learn more. So I'm so excited to have Mark Samuel on the show today. He is, in my opinion, first and foremost, a dad. He is a health and fitness enthusiast, and he's a 20-year veteran of building startups with heart, hustle, and purpose. He's, as I said, the founder of Mark's, a seed oil-free snack brand that just launched a non-GMO kettle chip line. I got it through Jordan Buckner's Food Bevy Insider box. It was fantastic. He also works on some growth initiatives with Siddhi Capital, one of the top venture firms in food and beverage. And he hosts, like he got nothing else to do, Let's Eat, his LinkedIn podcast, where he has incredibly candid conversations from all across the CPG world. Before this, he founded, built, and then licensed I1 Organics. And I think there's so many things that fire him up, but just let's get into it about the discipline behind clean snacking. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
My man, there have been a few of your friends on this show. Matt McLean's been on the show, and
oh, nice.
Eric Martindale and Anna Eisen and your boy Jason Bronstadt and Kat Weaver's coming on. So excited to have you here.
Oh,
you've built a lot of brands before. What prompted you to build and launch Mark's potato chips?
Yeah, that's a good one. It felt right, I guess, is the best answer. The stuff I've done before, it's been all sort of in different areas of different categories and whether it's service or product related businesses. And then the last few have been consumer facing products. And then the last one being in food and beverage. So I kind of admittedly said I'd never do this again. The last go around was really rough. But I kind of found myself sitting with this idea and said, all right, well, if I was going to do it again, what would it look like? And I started kind of spelling that out. I listed just a few different things and here we are. This is what it looks like. So we're going to give it a good go and we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, I got to tell you, the product is just freaking fantastic. I just absolutely loved it. You saw the video. I mean, there were people in our office that were fighting with me because they wanted it, and I was like, you may have one chip, but that's it. So, and I'll make a confession that I've been able to overcome a lot of my vices, but man, vice or strength, whatever you want to call it, I can't give up great potato chips.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually one of the reasons, or at least one of the things that I noted about, what does this have to look like? And I appreciate you saying that. The product is fantastic. And I'm really objective when I say that. I've been through this before, not just with this and a previous brand, but I do understand consumer products and what they need to be. And as far as food, beverage, anything that goes in the mouth, it just has to be fantastic. So you're not the only one that's saying that, and that's a really great place to start. This other piece I talk about is it had to be something that everybody eats. And although I talk a lot about health and wellness, this really is a platform for me to communicate about health and wellness. Some people, but it's kettle chips. I thought you said you don't even eat chips. And it's very true. I very rarely even snack. But this allows me to have a voice. It allows me to get in front of consumers and really tell them the truths about nutrition. And everybody hears me talk about the 80-20 rule. Everybody hears me talk about the importance of whole foods, single ingredient items. But if there was going to be a snacking piece to my story, it would look something like this. And that's because it's minimalist ingredients. It's clean. You can pronounce it. I know where it's coming from. And I'm also well aware and okay with the fact that 95% of us do snack. And if you were to look in people's cupboards at home, you would oftentimes find chips. So I'd like to be there if I possibly can, and then we go from there.
I mean, and when you say you're going to be there, you're literally going to be there. Your face is going to be there,
Yes.
looking at them from
Yes.
inside the cupboard.
That's good or bad. Yes, correct.
Now, the seed oil conversation has exploded recently, and I wanted you to say particularly why you wanted to do clean. My offer on this is that what more intimate thing is there than eating? I mean, you're putting food inside your body, right? So tell me about the no seed approach.
Yeah, I mean, no seed oil is just one of these new talking points, right? It's been around actually a lot longer than people expect or realize, but it's gotten a little bit heavier as far as volume because more folks with a bigger microphone have gotten behind it. Both on the pros and the cons. And then, the sentiment is, oh, yeah, but is it real? What are we talking about? I am very bullish on inflammatories and how we can minimize them in all forms. And I'm just one that does believe that we should minimize specific types of oils as often as we can. It's just not all the time. And that's why, again, I come back to just true sentiment about the realities of life and the idea of just being well aware as often as we can of what we're putting in our bodies and what it does for us. So balance is key. I'm okay with other things with the canola oils because it's just in everything. But when you can make a choice or you have an option to make a choice that is different than most, I just want to be there as sitting there as one that you can choose. So that's really it.
Well, I mean that's a beautiful way of putting it because the reality is even the most disciplined people when it comes to eating and drinking need a little bit of naughtiness once in a while. And so, what better way than to get some of Mark's potato chips in your mouth?
Yeah, and funny enough, people hear me say, "Dude, I don't care if I don't even need you to have marks. If anything, I prefer you not." Like, I know it sounds strange. What do you mean you don't want to be? Don't you want? I want to just be able to have a voice to talk about the reality of the way we eat and why we are causing so many issues within ourselves. And one of them is just going back to the core point of it is because we're being scared into things. That's right. The seed oil, not the seed. Oh, we can't. We've been marketed a whole bunch of bullshit for so long. When the reality is, if you just took a look at the data, it all comes from the processing of foods, and the sugars and everything else that we consume daily. And I just want to be able to be there to help people along the way, this journey of health. And really speak to them the way that most should be, which is this is not something to be scared of. It's something where we just need to have a better relationship with food. And the only way that comes or happens is somebody being able to speak to them as if they're your own, not scaring them into something, not having marketing tactics. I mean, the better for you headline of what we do for it is just complete bullshit. All of it. It's just all bullshit. And we're being marketed to by brands constantly, and we're just either eating into it, no pun intended, or which I do talk openly about, we just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
A majority just don't care. And we prove that over and over again by, again, not just the data, but you can go outside your own home and go look around. We just have a lot of unhealthy people, and that's just fact.
I mean, when I first came across what you were going to do, it immediately reminded me of what Malk does and what Three Trees does. I mean, I know they're both in the same category: oats, water, salt, right?
Sure.
And I love that it's potatoes, avocado oil, and salt, for example. That also kind of like eliminates a lot of room for error when it comes to taste. It just the recipe has to be on because there's so few ingredients.
Yeah, I chose it because it's just a big category. It gets me inside a household, and you can imagine we're building a seed oil-free salty snack company that has minimalist ingredients. If I am given the opportunity to build this brand, meaning a consumer has an affinity to the brand, it will give us permission to do a whole lot of things, and that would be amazing. And I don't care if that's a year from now or 20 years from now. I'm just speaking in facts. And if I can do that, I will have the chance to continue to deliver on what I'm trying to do here, which is just give you a little bit of a cleaner option here. However, watch what I'm about to say here. By also providing me a bigger platform to speak to consumers in truths, because I'd like to get people to just be healthier through exercise, which I talk about often, and through what we're putting in our bodies. And I just don't think it's being done enough. We have really big companies that control a majority of the shelves in a store, and they're a reflection of shareholders, and it's understandable. It's like they just got to make the numbers work, so they'll sell you a whole bunch of fucking bullshit. And at the same breath, they've got a new product that's going to fix the bullshit. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're selling me Coca-Cola, but now you're selling me a prebiotic to fix my gut health that's being delivered by another one of your products. You get where I'm going? And again, I try not to like hit on specific big companies or legacy companies. It is what it is. I get it, but at the same time, we got to be speaking up here.
I mean, I love the challenger model because I think that we need more challengers to the status quo. Otherwise, we're not going to get better. And one of the challenges that I took this morning actually from you is I was like, God damn, I did not feel like going to the gym, but I can't interview Mark Samuel and not go to the gym that day. So I did my lower body, I did my explosive exercises, but you're known for that. You're known for a health first mindset. How does that come into the business side?
Well, I'm blessed. I'm lucky. I mean, I talk about mental health and the like. I've dealt with mental health, what I consider to be, issues. It's just sort of cutting me for my entire adult life. And I'm blessed that I found the gym at such a young age, because I don't know where I'd be, but it would not be in a good spot. I believe everybody should be exercising every day. And then what do you mean? You need rest. It should be 5 days and then you need for body. I don't believe any of that shit. You should be fucking moving your body every single day. Every day you should be moving your body. To me, that doesn't mean you have to be pumping iron and getting underneath the barbell and all. Like, just move. Get outside for a walk for 30 minutes. That's the starting point. And so health to me is the number one priority. It comes before everybody. Mark, it comes before your kids? You bet your ass it does. My health, my personal health, is my number one priority. And it should be yours too. And why? It's because even with family being number two, which I'll describe shortly, right? Your kids, your spouse, your people, all the good stuff. You cannot be your best self. You cannot offer up guidance. You cannot inspire others if you are not well yourself. So that's what that comes from. And then I go to number three, which is work. It's like, it's one of those things. You're working for a living or you live to work. What you choose. I don't really give a shit which one, but people know what I talk about. I work from one time to the end and it's over. I'm not one of these hustle guys and I got to grind it at 2 a.m. and fuck all that. I'm sleeping, which is part of the health thing too. Anyway, you get what I mean.
Well, it's interesting because I'm close to, I think, just above 200 of these shows, and there's probably less than 10 founders that I've talked to that actually pay attention and do a good job with their own wellness optimization. Sleep. You mentioned that sleep. Movement, eating carefully, hydrating, and taking care of their mental health. Why is that so elusive for people in food and beverage?
I don't know, but it wouldn't be just food and beverage. I mean, it could probably run its course through those that are considered founders, right, entrepreneurs and the like, and then anybody who is really truly quote unquote career driven, right? They feel like they got to be on all the time, and then in today's environment, it's like if somebody's working, like you can't even spend a night with your family without some Yahoo trying to email you, and you're supposed to, because that's what it's like today. We've allowed that to come into our systems as though if you did not respond within a minute, you are not working or you are not, doing your thing. It's like, no, dude, that is not how this works. And it goes back to just the mental health aspect of everything. We've become locked into something that is totally. I could go like 20 ways with this, so I'm just going to keep it very simple and PG. We have gone into the vortex of insanity. And I don't know if it will ever get better. I pray it does, but I will tell you, with where we're going with AI and the like, and the speed at which we need information, it doesn't look good. I'll put it that way. Expectations are reflective of the speed at which we need something today. And so that basically removes us being able to be present in a moment that oftentimes is much more important, right? I'm going to restate that. Being present oftentimes in something that is much more important. I'll let everybody fill in their own blank on what that may mean. And it is what it is. So that comes back to just being unhealthy all around, and people layering in things that admittingly to me are unhealthy.
And I do agree with you. I think it is difficult because we are being programmed with this bullshit hustle culture. And I got a side hustle, and I was working on this at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that's your own sacrifice. No one's asking you to do that. And in fact, it's terrible for you to do it. It's
actually, but so that's it. I would say it's all good. Meaning, like, I could flip it on its head and say, and I say it all the time, do you? I mean, like, if that like makes you tick, right? I talk about purpose a lot. I mean, then who am I? I don't care. Like, if you're a 4 a.m. guy or gal who's just doing the thing because you got purpose and you know what you're going after, and maybe you have put you might not have kids, or maybe you do, and you're like, you put them second, like you're okay to travel, 15 of the 30 days a month. I'm nobody in your world, and I shouldn't be. You got to do whatever makes you tick, and whatever you're going to be able to live with later on, which of course comes down to the regret and everything else. You don't want to be laying there at your last breath being like, damn, I really wish I was traveling a whole lot more. And I was, whatever, dude, do whatever you got to do. So you get where I'm going with that. It's like,
yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, awesome. And one of the things you're known for, I mean, you say it yourself.
Keep talking. I'm grabbing a charger. Keep talking. I'm listening.
Faith, family, and fitness, which I think is just such a, especially in today's environment, such a wonderful way to look at the world. Put yourself first so that you can take care of your significant other, so you can take care of your kids, so that you can take care of the people you work with and do your mission.
Yes. Yes. I mean, that can go a bunch of ways, but you've nailed it. Correct.
Yeah. And so tell me what it's like working on the capital side. You work with Siddhi Capital. How has like investing and being on those teams influenced the way you see the world now?
I was given that opportunity. I had we had licensed the last business. It was a flat business. I'm always open with. It's just such a flat business, and we had this opportunity with the last SaaS company to just license it. We're sitting there now with another group. I was just contemplating, what am I going to be doing? What's my next move? And as I had said, it wasn't going to be in CPG. I was not going to start something else. I had already wounds. I still was bleeding under one eye. Fucking had a hernia. Actually, literally had that. And so I had this great opportunity because I'm friends with them over there, Melissa and Steven, and there was an opportunity, and I went I got to hang out there for a while. And it just sort of allowed me to really look inward. Because I hadn't been able to. The last 8 years, I was building this thing and constantly dealing with things. It doesn't allow you to kind of get to a moment of peace. And I was blessed to be able to get that moment of peace for a couple months, working on some stuff with them, but really looked inward and said, I know that I only do things on my own. It's just, I'm not cut, or I was not placed here. I'm a big believer in faith. Like I was not placed here to work. I wouldn't say for others, but just in a group that wasn't a group that I had put together. There's pros, cons, and everything in between. It is what it is. But that's when I really sat with this idea that I guess probably had been sitting in my back pocket, but I just hadn't been noticing it. And said, okay, I got to go do this. So that's what I did. And then over the course of the months, though, I still helped them a little bit with some initiative stuff. But what I could tell you is the VC world is exactly how some see it or describe it, and then everything under the sun from there. It's its own unique business. Own unique way of looking at things. There are definitely different styles through the different companies that are out there that do this. Some good, some bad, and again, everything in between. So I'll sort of leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, you said that you like to be surrounded by exceptional people. What does a high performance team look like to you?
That's a good one. It looks kind of like what I'm doing right now. I just wrote a post about, we're growing this thing with fractional. I really wasn't going to hire anybody. I was like, I'm just going to do this on my own. And I'm going to, which I did in the beginning. Like I really kind of like to wear the hats in each of the arenas so that I truly understand how each function is working. And then you got to fill. So it's like I go start at finance. I got to have a controller that handles the books. Then I go to ops. I started onboarding somebody about a month ago. He just hovers, watches what's been going on because as I just wrote him an email, you're going to be leading this next project, which is this thing that I'm working on. And then marketing. My same guy who I've had before, actually last two ventures, who just does, again, fractional stuff. And then this new onboarding that's taking course right now is a fractional salesperson who is like the dream. It's just, again, by God's grace, he just said, I don't mind saying it. I don't even know if I'm like, he had just sort of retired, and him and I were hanging out still talking about stuff because I talked to him even while he was still employed and all that. We'd talk about different things. And it's just one of those things. He's like, I got to do this with you. And I'm like, all right, I ain't got no money, meaning it's not like you're getting hired. You're just here's what I could do right now. And things, all I can say is just things work out. And what does that mean? Each of these people are players. They're no nonsense. I got it. It's short conversations. I don't need to be teaching anybody. I want them to teach me. You know what I mean? So there's a sentiment behind it.
That's fantastic. So they're sort of like, you like people that are driven, that are no bullshit, that are going to say what they're going to do, and then they're going to do what they say they're going to do.
I love short conversations, and I love these types of answers, which are yes, got it. And here, I'll put it in a better context. Mark, move the fuck out the way. You get it?
Yes.
You understand? Okay, that's what I like.
Now, running the Let's Eat podcast, man, that has to be so much fun for you.
Yes, I do enjoy that. I've been doing that now for 5 years. And, what did I just do? 249 plus all the special ones. We probably had like 300 episodes, right? It's fun. I mean, how many people have I met, that I now count as friends of mine, right? Like I could call them and be like, hey, it's countless. And you get to see different personalities. You get to see also you get to sort of like get a good understanding of sort of maybe why things don't work out for some people and why it does. Like, meaning and I'm no, gold star here. I'm always objective about it. It's just like you sometimes get off and be like, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Not like me making that decision. It's just like, are you listening to these conversations or the questions that we're talking about versus also flip it on its head, freaking all stars. I know some all-stars out there, and if it ain't this that they're doing, you know these types of people. If it ain't this that they're doing that they create some success with, they'll find that one thing in due time. And that stuff really inspires me. It motivates me. It reminds me of just like where you can take yourself, as far as not just like intellect into a space, but like how you carry yourself, how you're motivated by certain things, how you move, all of it.
Well, I mean, now I can understand why you've been so successful at creating brands with personality.
Or whatever. Somebody will flip that on its head and say something else, but I get the sentiment.
Well, and here's the thing, like for the people that want to say something else, right? It's like I know this personally that I piss people off because I'm too busy to meet everyone that wants to meet me, right? I got to be, I mean, I'm very much like you. I focus on myself, I focus on my wife, I focus on my kid, and then my little world around me. So what do you say, what do we say to the people that get pissed off because they can't meet with us because we don't have the time? It's like you only got so many followers that you can connect with truly on LinkedIn, right? And the other people, what's the point of getting mad? It's just reality.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with that stuff. And that's because I remember sort of what it's like, where I need hey, I need 5 minutes, so whatever that may look like. Um, I number one is I always respond. So that's helpful. Number two is I'm very frank now because as you'll understand the sentiment is I have to say a lot more no's now for me to not just have my own peace, but for me to move forward and stay ahead, right? I can't be guilted into the yeses anymore. It's just not fair to myself, which is very important. And so there's a lot of just, hey, I just don't have time for this right now. But I wish you all the luck in the world. And it hurts me to like, even I can hear myself say that right now. It hurts me a little bit, but it's better than not getting responded to at all. That's number one. The other ones are try to keep it in the middle, which is do me a favor, follow up with me in a few weeks. I oftentimes do that actually to be fair, because I also want to see how serious someone is, especially if it's contextually like an okay comment or a request or a question they need answered. I just want to make sure it's real. And then the third one is sometimes I will be like, this is just, you have to catch me on a good day. I'll be like, here's my phone number. You have 7 minutes to call me. Like a pocket could open. I could be driving to pick up my kid. And those always make me feel good because I get to deliver something, they get a response, and everybody wins. So that's my answer.
That's fantastic. And you're so active on social. I mean, you're even doing your own TikToks for the chips. So what fuels you with that? Because man, I mean, I know personally it can be a grind sometimes.
Yeah, that one I really don't like doing, admittedly. I haven't done one like a little while. Mainly because also we don't think the TikTok channel is going to be something that works for us. I know those who have done really well on TikTok, they'd be like, don't say that. You're going to just keep going. And so, no, we tried the TikTok shop stuff. We tried some virality stuff as far as influencers. And I don't think the product and the price point will make sense for it to turn the way that most would love it to, and that top 2% that gets some sort of virality and some real sales generated there. So that's just everybody. So I really don't want it, or didn't really want to have to do some videos there. As far as the other social stuff and staying active on LinkedIn, it's part of my day. I consider it part of my job almost. But I'm also very open and transparent about that. One day I'm praying that I don't have to do anything. The real ones will have my phone number and my contact. They'll realize, fuck, he's gone. Where did he go? I'll tell you where I went. I deleted every fucking app, every single one of them, and that's just that. You need to get a hold of me, you call my phone or you email me, and that's that, because I've gone off to like live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a friend of mine, Eli Rubel, said the exact same thing. He said, I dream of not as good as I am about doing it. I dream about not having to do it anymore. So let me ask you this, when is Chipotle going to make you its spokesperson?
So ridiculous, dude. I'm waiting on a check still. It's it's long overdue. Long overdue. Anyway,
I
yeah,
mean,
that was always fun. That's when I started doing little things like that. I would just say something about or like when I did something about Subaru cars and stuff. I realized I was like, now this can be even more fun. Like I realized I had built a community that is giving me permission to seriously have fun. I still get an outlier every so often. Like, why do you gotta, I'm like, and now I'm like, this channel's not for you, dude. You know, this channel's not. Anyway, you get it. Like I really do want to put a smile on someone's face. I get it from other people. And, every so often I think it's just, we need more of that. Like shit's sometimes, you know how the world is right now. We're freaking, we don't know what the hell is going on here. So
well, so when you're at the gym, are you headphones in or headphones? No headphones at all.
headphones in, I listen to music or like today I had a podcast going.
And when you're listening to music, I know that I'm not the only one that wants to know. What do you listen to?
I don't have any specific other than I turn on any channel that goes on a shuffle that's art rap related. So like actually funny enough, right now it's a clean hip hop workout or something like that, meaning like there's no swear words. Sometimes today's it's like so why and this is coming from me who has a foul mouth. Like I don't need it. It's 5:30 in the morning. I need to temper it for a minute.
So
But
what about
it's usually hip hop and stuff like that. That's what I listen to.
so what about the new Wu-Tang?
I don't know. Just make sure when I hit play, it just continues to shuffle through, and you offer me something.
Now, I know you like burgers and you like Chipotle and all of that and meat, but when you're going out for like a fine dining meal with your lady, where are you guys going?
That's a good one. In Marin, there's not very many where I'm at, Mike, the county. It's funny enough, we have like some decent restaurants, but you usually end up at the same ones. So it could be some Italian, but we go to a place that will have a steak or whatever. But if you have to like really go get a steak, you got to go into San Francisco, which we do, and that's that.
So, what are you excited about right now? Let me say, are there any specific things that you're excited about? You're excited in general, I know, but anything specific that you want to shout out to the world?
We basketball. So CYO starts. So everybody knows it. So CYO season just started. So I luckily this year get to coach my daughter and my son. And there's a ton of basketball going on because my son also plays year round with a group, and so that's fun. And people know that I got engaged a few months ago, so there's a lot of like stuff that happens with that now. Looking into next year, because you got to combine families, it's a whole fun. So that's got in motion. And then for work, I mean, it's one of these things. We're working on some bigger opportunities in the background that nobody, some bigger opportunities. And I just want one of them or two of them to land to give us a real shot at demonstrating what this is in 26, because that's what it is. Like right now, it's just, I'm super slow tempered, got a few things just rolling, but like for us to really get into market, we're going to need a couple true partnerships to take course with us. And from there, you get to see, all right, is this what I think it is? And that's some exciting stuff.
And I know from a post that you made a few days ago where you were at the airport and you saw the chips in a mini market at the airport. What about these alternative marketing channels? Because everyone's always chasing e-commerce and retail. And of course, retail comes with its own, huge bulk of problems. What do you think of all these alternative marketing channels?
Yeah, I like them. I mean, so especially with something like this, I like food service. I like vending. Like it's funny, people are like, well, that's kind of small. I'm like, yeah, but you know how many vending machines there are? Like,
Thousands.
why would I not be in, 75,000 vending machines across the states, where there's a seed oil free option with my big face staring at you. Like, I think it would work, like, and again, so because people don't they think about like, I gotta be in Kroger. It's gonna be so. Yeah, okay, you get it. So that's where there's a lot of correct alternative opportunities that we're going to be able to focus on.
Because I think that, if you went to like a large corporate campus, man, I think people would love to be picking up some of your potato chips on a large
Oh yeah,
corporate
well
campus.
we're going to be in Google's majority of Google's locations and for January, and so that's just a good first low hanging, not just test but just opportunity to say, okay, this works. Like, what else should we be looking at, and who can take us on to make that happen?
Okay, so the next question, I want to have a little fun with you. Who would play Mark Samuel in a movie?
Oh my God! Well, he'd have to be super unattractive, but at the same time, maybe have a 4 pack during winter, 6 pack during summer. Is that what it looks like? Anyway, oh, you know who I would love? This will be a good shout out. How about Patrick Schwarzenegger? Do you know who that
Oh
is?
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He'll like that. He'll like that I said that. Though he's 10 times more attractive, but I would. So that's why I layered that in there. That would be a great step up for me.
I was gonna say maybe Oscar Isaac, or Pedro, even Pedro Pascal. I mean, come on, he's definitely got the personality because you need some
Fair,
personality.
fair.
Now, when can we expect to see a charity boxing match between Mark Samuel and Eric Martindale?
I don't think he would step into the ring. I don't think there's many that would do that, but I would welcome that at any point. But he's my buddy. I really really love that guy. And if people don't know, he's the one handling our Amazon business. And it just speaks to the community that was built on Amazon, like on LinkedIn. I met Eric through LinkedIn, I don't know, handful of years ago, and we've just been cool ever since socially. And then when it was time for me to launch this new opportunity, it's like he's the first one I reached out to, and it was like a boom right away. I was like, yes. And they've handled our account like with great gloves and has really done right by us as this new startup in all ways. And so shout out to him.
I mean, there is a lot of things to be said about Eric. I'll give him a shout out too, not to mention the fact that he puts out great research and great content, and he likes to have fun. And he's just such a stand-up guy. So definitely, we work on some things together, and I agree with you 100%, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. This has been so much fun. I think when you decide to put a panel together, I'm happy to host, and we'll have a Mark Samuel version of the podcast. So
I'm down. I get it. I appreciate you having me.
yeah, man, this is an incredible deep dive with Mark Samuel, everyone. Oh, what does the A stand for?
What?
What does the A in your name stand for?
Alan.
Mark Allen Samuel, the powerhouse behind Mark Snacks, leader at Siddhi Capital, a true champion of life. To learn more about Mark's products, Mark, where can they find the products online?
I'd go to Amazon.
Go to Amazon. All right. And of course, if you're a mission-driven food or beverage brand looking to grow your community, head over to firebellymarketing.com. Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate you coming on the show. And everyone else, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Firebelly Social Show. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.